How we start a particular journey or endeavor often sets the tone for how that goes. And this is true of life. There's certainly a lot of information about how what we experience as adults is a result of what happened in childhood. The ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, and birth trauma, and even things that happened while we were still in the womb, all that prenatal stuff. And it can create a rough start. And we may feel like we're behind the eight ball because of that stuff, whether we're specifically aware of what might have happened or just have a sense that things have happened. And just like many sporting events where people are way behind and then come from the end and win the game and snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, we can do that too. So, taking full responsibility for your own well-being. Even though I may have had a rough start, I choose to love and accept myself. Even though I may have had a rough start, I choose to love and honor myself. Even though I may have had a rough start, with stuff that happened in my early childhood or during my birth, or even before that. And it feels like that stuff weighs me down and puts me at a disadvantage. And even though I may have had a rough start, I still choose to deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. And maybe even some of the people involved, because I choose to be that free. I had a rough beginning. I had a rough start. There was stuff at the beginning of this journey that was really challenging. Some of it before I had conscious awareness. But I feel that it took a toll on me. All the challenges from this rough start, the ways that it affected me physically, the ways it may have affected me psychologically, the ways it may have affected me emotionally. And sometimes I might tell myself, I shouldn't expect too much good in my life, given the way things started and all. I should really lower my expectations and maybe even expect the worst. All this belief that because of what started it all, that I'm behind the eight ball. It's necessarily going to be rougher for me than other people. And I shouldn't even really want much, because then I'm doomed for disappointment. And I love and appreciate those parts of me that might say those kinds of things as a way of trying to protect myself. I also choose to be open to the possibility that the best is yet to come. And my entire life does not have to be defined by how it started. Even if it started really rough. All these difficulties, before I was born, allowing myself to handle all the prenatal challenges, whether there are things going on with me physically, or drama that was going on outside, but that I picked up on. Maybe it's stuff that happened during childbirth. Maybe my mother had difficulty delivering me. Maybe part of me remembers that. Or maybe there are stories that I was told. People suggesting that I should feel like I had difficulties. That I should feel challenged. All this stuff that I should feel challenged by. And I'm not wrong or bad or stupid if I do feel challenged. I don't need to deny what happened. I don't need to pretend that it didn't happen. I don't need to pretend that it didn't have an effect on me. I'm just allowing myself to see the possibility. That it's not a permanent sentence. And that I'm not permanently limited by that. And I'm not going to let anyone else tell me that I'm permanently limited. I'll acknowledge whatever limitations are real. I don't need to be in denial to be happy. I don't need to be in denial to feel safe. I'm just letting go of my need to hang on to any story about why I couldn't do better, feel better, or have better. I'm giving myself the freedom to really move forward. And maybe it's stuff that happened in my early childhood. Maybe my birth was perfect, but then the crap started happening. And I have all these unfortunate experiences. Physical, emotional, psychological. And I don't need to deny the toll they took on me. I'm just clearing the doubt that I can transcend that. Clearing the doubt that things can get a whole lot better. Clearing this fear that that might set me up for disappointment. I can handle disappointment. as I give myself the opportunity to come back from behind, there's a risk of disappointment. But if I insist that I'm permanently doomed because of how things started, then I'm just guaranteeing the disappointment. And I haven't done that because I'm bad or stupid. It's just what I've been taught to do. And it's misunderstandings. And I'm setting myself free from those. I can make the rest of my life the best of my life. There may be challenges that are always there. But I'm allowing myself to know things can get better than I've allowed myself to expect. And I love and appreciate those parts of me that have tried to convince me that I was stuck, that I was defined by how things started. And I'm processing that old programming, allowing myself to see where there might be some holes in that, some openings for things to get a lot better than I thought they could. Because no matter how rough my start was, I am still a magnificent child of the universe, worthy and deserving of the best this world has to offer. My rough start doesn't prove otherwise. That's not proof of what I deserve. Who knows why it happens that way? I can allow that to motivate me. I can find some way to use it. I can find ways to transmute it, to transcend it, to transform it, and then show others what's possible. Maybe I even chose a rough start so that I could overcome it, to be proof to others that that's possible. Even though I had this rough start, there's so much good available to me. I'm setting myself free to enjoy much more, because nothing is too good for me. And I'm clearing my doubts about that. Clearing those doubts at a cellular level. Clearing them all the way back through my past. All the way back through my childhood. Back through my birth. Back as far as I need to go. The human body is constantly regenerating. Old cells die off and new cells are grown. And it's said that the entire human body is replaced every 7 years or so. I'm a totally different person than who I was as a child. The stuff I'm carrying with me is in my beliefs and my energy. And I can transform that. I'm giving myself permission to do so. Even though I had a rough start, I'm awesome. And I'm worthy and deserving of an awesome life. And I'm giving myself permission to choose that. Allowing myself to know that I deserve an awesome life. In body, mind, and spirit. Take a deep breath. And lather, rinse, repeat as necessary. And give yourself as much freedom as possible. It's not about denying what happened. It's not about pretending. Honor yourself. Honor that part of your story that is important, but also don't allow yourself to be imprisoned by it in ways that isn't necessary, because you deserve an awesome life. Every moment you're breathing, the universe is saying, yes, you're worthy and deserving of this oxygen. Allow that to be a reminder that you are worthy and deserving of great things. And as you allow yourself to do that, then you're much more likely to share your awesomeness with the world. And thank you for doing that.